The city was unusually quiet on Christmas Eve, wrapped in soft white snow and blinking lights that felt colder than comforting. Daniel Cross, CEO of one of the world's largest tech companies, sat alone on a bench outside his own glass tower, suit wrinkled, eyes hollow, heart heavier than the night itself. Inside the building, laughter echoed from a charity gala he had funded, but couldn't bear to attend. Champagne flowed, speeches were made, and his name was praised endlessly. Yet Daniel felt invisible. That morning he had signed the final divorce papers and closed the chapter on a marriage that failed quietly. He had everything people prayed for: money, influence, power, but nothing that felt real. His parents were gone, his wife had moved on, and the child they never had haunted him more than any loss. Christmas Eve only magnified the emptiness, pressing it against his chest until breathing hurt. As snow gathered on his shoulders, a small voice cut through the silence. "Mister, why are you crying?" Daniel stiffened, quickly wiping his face. He looked up to see a little girl, no older than 6, bundled in a red coat 2 sizes too big, her eyes curious and kind. "I'm not crying," he lied gently. "Just tired." The girl tilted her head, unconvinced. "My mom says grown-ups cry when their hearts are tired." Daniel almost laughed, but the sound caught in his throat instead. He had forgotten how honest children could be. Before he could respond, the girl climbed onto the bench beside him without permission, swinging her legs. "It's Christmas Eve," she said softly. "You're not supposed to be alone today." Daniel stared at her, unsure why her words hurt more than the silence ever had. "My mom and I were bringing food to the shelter," she continued, pointing across the street to a small church glowing warmly. "But she's talking too much again." She rolled her eyes playfully. Daniel smiled despite himself. "She does that too?" he asked. The girl nodded seriously. Then after a moment she leaned closer and whispered the words that would change everything. "Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mom." Daniel froze, certain he'd misheard. "Borrow your mom?" he repeated, confused. She nodded, with complete sincerity. "She makes hot chocolate and listens really good, and she hugs tight when people feel broken." Daniel felt his chest crack open. He hadn't been hugged in years, not really. Before he could reply, a woman called out, "Lily!" A tired but warm-faced woman approached, apologizing quickly. "I'm so sorry. She talks to everyone." Daniel shook his head. "It's okay," he said quietly. "She helped more than you know." Lily beamed proudly, grabbing her mother's hand. The woman smiled politely, ready to leave, but Lily pulled her back. "Mom, he's alone. It's Christmas Eve." The woman hesitated, reading Daniel's expression. Expensive coat, red eyes, loneliness impossible to hide. Compassion softened her face. "We're heading to the shelter for dinner," she said, gently. "If you'd like, you're welcome to join us." Daniel had declined countless invitations in his life, but something about this one felt different. Real. He nodded slowly. "I'd like that." Inside the church hall, mismatched decorations and laughter filled the air. No cameras, no speeches, just people. Lily dragged Daniel to a small table and handed him a paper snowflake she'd made. "So you don't feel lonely anymore," she said. As the evening passed, Daniel served food, listened to stories, and laughed. Really laughed, for the first time in years. Lily's mother, Emma, spoke with quiet strength, sharing how they had lost Lily's father and learned to rebuild life piece by piece. When the night ended, snow falling heavier now, Daniel walked them outside. Lily hugged him tightly, just as promised. "See? Borrowed," she said. Emma laughed through tears. Daniel knelt down, voice thick. "Thank you, both of you." Weeks later, Daniel returned to the shelter, not as a guest, but as a volunteer, then as a donor, then as a friend. Christmas came again the next year, but this time his apartment was filled with laughter, hot chocolate, and a little girl who still believed hearts could be fixed. And every Christmas Eve after that, Daniel Cross remembered the night a little girl lent him her mother and gave him back his life.